My name is Rik Rhode. I am the treasurer of the 445 Foundation. My son, Andrew, who is the president, regrettably won't be able to make it this year. He's having fun in Outer Banks. This is Elizabeth from the network office. I'm going to let her introduce the miracle family that we brought with it this morning.
Take that back. Thank you so much for letting us be here today. So the 445 Foundation, as you probably know, has supported Children's Miracle Network for many years. And this year we've invited a family who has benefited from those funds that have been provided at Penn State Children's Hospital to share a little bit about their story.
And Elizabeth, would you mind just giving your full name and your position?
Yes, so my name is Elizabeth Wilson, and I'm the Assistant Director of Community and Digital Fundraising at Children's Miracle Network.
Thank you. Now you can continue with your...
Okay. So we have a group of miracle families, as we call them, who have benefited from the things that we've been able to provide through funding from organizations like the 445 Foundation. Lebanon County has been a great supporter of the Children's Hospital, and the things that we hope to support are things that are above and beyond the normal standard of care that a hospital can provide. So additional research and equipment and programs and things like Child Life, which benefit families as a whole throughout their stay at Penn State Children's Hospital. So Miracle Child Daisy here and her mom have had an experience in our hospital, and we'd like for them to share a little bit about that and how Children's Miracle Network helped through their journey.
Okay, and Daisy, did you bring your attorney with you, or who's?
Your attorney.
Would you like to introduce yourself as part of the team
Sure.
here?
I'm Jason Roth. I'm the treasurer, I'm not treasurer, the secretary for the 445.
Excellent. Thank you, Jason.
Yep.
I just wanted to give you a chance to introduce yourself. Go ahead, Daisy.
All right, so I'm actually Lidra. My daughter is Daisy. And when I was 26 weeks pregnant, I went into labor with Daisy. For the next 5 days, I was in Milton S. Hershey Medical Center, and I was being cautioned that Daisy would never live the life that we imagined for her. We were told she could be blind, she could be deaf, she may never walk, and that was just the beginning of the story. At 27 weeks one day, Daisy was born, and we were really prepared for the worst. So when she came out screaming, you can imagine that there was such joy in my heart. I was like, she's gonna be fine. I don't care what anybody has told me, she's gonna be fine. And as a mother, that's really the thing that you hope for, is that your child is fine. So thinking she's fine and knowing she's fine are two very different things. As soon as she was born, she was whisked away to that NICU, and I didn't see her for hours. So I was just wondering in my mind, is she okay? What's going on? I don't know. But when I did get to see Daisy, I saw she was on a breathing tube, which was a very hard sight to see. She was hooked up to all these tubes, all these wires. She was in this bed that I had never seen before. Obviously, being born that early, I had never had a chance to do the tour of the NICU or know anything about it. So it was all a brand new world to me. But all that I saw within this bed, under the spotlight, was my baby girl, and that's all that mattered in that moment. When Daisy was in the NICU, she spent 64 days in there. She had a lot of respiratory issues because her lungs weren't quite formed well enough. She was on the breathing tube for about 12 hours, and then she went to nasal cannula, and then from there she went to a CPAP machine, and she just flirted between the two for the majority of her stay in the NICU. She also had anemia to the point that she needed a blood transfusion at just a few weeks old. She had jaundice that just wouldn't give up, and she had bradycardias, which would make her heart rate plummet very rapidly. She would turn blue, and in some cases she would turn gray. So as a mother watching this all happen to your child, you just have to put all of your faith in the medical team that's supporting her. And as you can tell, obviously, their efforts worked out well.
She seems to be doing pretty well.
She is well, yes.
She's going to go into construction.
When she got out of the NICU, she spent 2 years in early intervention. You wouldn't know it now, but she had a motor planning delay. So she would just sit there and her hands would be up. And you knew that she wanted to reach for something, but she just couldn't do it. So early intervention, they helped her to get that far that she was able to move her hands as she wishes. Today she's a happy, healthy, thriving 3-year-old. She loves to do dance classes and swim classes and soccer classes and play with her little brother Lex. She also goes to preschool 4 days a week, so she loves to play with her friends there. But really, oh yeah, and she's going to kindergarten soon.
Daisy has, let Daisy speak.
Hey, Daisy, come up here.
Come on up.
No.
Okay, she's just gonna have me tell it for her.
Okay.
Oh, it's a secret. It's a secret. She's going to kindergarten soon.
Okay, well, we won't tell
Yeah.
anybody, okay?
So the key component, though, throughout her whole journey in the NICU was Children's Miracle Network. They provided that bed that I was referring to. It regulated her body temperature for her so that she didn't need to do that. It also deafened out the noises in the NICU, and it had a cover over it that would block out the light. So Daisy could do what Daisies do, and that's just grow the entire time she was in there. Children's Miracle Network also provided a lot of the training, the resources, the knowledge that the doctors, the nurses, and all the support staff had to help premature babies like Daisy just survive and thrive in those pivotal days in the NICU. So we owe so much to Children's Miracle Network for my wild 3-year-old child. So I wanted to thank you for having us here to tell her story today.
Thank you.
Thank you for
very
sharing.
Oh, you're welcome.
It must have been horrible.
You see us.
Of course, we want to thank you for your continued support. The foundation has been in existence since 2003. We've been raising funds as a family since 1990, 91. 90 was when our daughter, who was a Miracle Kid for Lebanon County, she was picked as a Miracle Kid back in 1987. We did visited the hospital. At that time was the 7th floor of the old hospital. Unfortunately, in 1990, which I only realized the other day would have been 30 years ago, this in 2020, 2 weeks ago she would have been 37 years old. So everything that we do as a foundation, we raised money when we were at Alcoa. Then when they shut us down, because of all the years of our involvement with the Miracle Network, every person to a man and woman said, what are they going to do without us? And that's when 7 of us and my son formed the 445 Foundation. 445 is what our local union was. Well, when they shut the place, we were United Steelworkers, Local 445. We've jumped through all the hoops. We're a 5013C in Lebanon County here, and we've been raising funds since 2003. Last year, thanks to all of you and the businesses in Lebanon County, we do our check presentation now at the Pay for Play for 10570X. So we're asking everybody to listen to 10570X on November 7th. I would highly recommend that you listen around 5 p.m. I ain't going to tell you why. You might hear voices you recognize. Last year, thanks to all of the work of Lebanon County, the county commissioners, the mayor's office helping us educate everyone, we were able to donate the largest check we've ever been able to do, which was $12,000.
Amazing.
I'm not allowed to give any specific numbers. However, there's a real good chance, and this is another reason to listen to 10570X, that we are going to be beating that number this year. The actual number, I ain't telling you.
Okay.
You gotta listen to find that out.
And we do have a proclamation that we want to present, and we'll remind everybody then after that show to switch your dials back to WLBR.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the mayor
Don't forget that.
Mayor has one as well, as she always does.
Okay, Mayor, would you like to go first?
So, hello. So whereas the 445 Foundation became an official nonprofit in 2003, as indicated, and each year you have events to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network at Penn State Hershey Children's Hospital at Hershey Medical Center, which is one of the elite children's hospitals in the world. And you've been partnering with 105.7 The X to present Pay for Play. And the higher the donation, to hear a particular song is how you were able to raise the money that you did last year. And the Children's Miracle Network has raised more than $74 million for Penn State Children's Hospital since it began locally in 1984. And the funds raised through the network has been allocated to support a variety of high priority needs within the Children's Hospital in the areas of pediatric programs, equipment, and research. They treat 100,000 kids each year, has the highest level neonatal and pediatric intensive care units, and was named a national leader in 2 pediatric specialties by U.S. News and World Report in 2019-2020. So now therefore I, Sherry Capello, Mayor of Lebanon City, do hereby acknowledge the 445 Foundation for its commitment, support, and contributions to the Children's Miracle Network. And I urge all citizens to make a difference in a child's life and support the organization in their fundraising efforts during the Pay for Play Marathon on November 7th and 8th. So congratulations.
Mayor, would you like us to vote to adopt that? And we also have one from the county as well.
Whereas the Children's Miracle Network Hospital at Penn State Hershey Medical Center is one of 170 affiliated Children's Miracle Network hospitals across the United States and Canada that provide world-class care for every patient. Whereas the Hershey Medical Center in central Pennsylvania is the singular children's hospital and region's only pediatric trauma unit dedicated to the care of children from birth through adolescence. Whereas the goal of the hospital is to enhance the health and well-being of children and families through collaborative medical care, education, research, and community service. Their mission is to generate funds and awareness programs for Penn State Children's Hospital, the children and families they serve. And whereas on November 7th and 8th, 2019, the Children's Miracle Network will take part in a 28-hour radio marathon on radio station 105.7 The X to help children and their families at Penn State Hershey Children's Hospital. Now therefore, we, the Commissioners of Lebanon County, on behalf of all our citizens, do hereby proclaim the week of November 3rd through November 9th, 2019 as Miracle Child Week in the County of Lebanon. Further, we ask the residents of our community to remember that it's all about the kids who are in need of healing, and give support to the Children's Miracle Network in their efforts to help these children and their families at Penn State Hershey Children's Hospital to become a miracle.
Motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the Children's Miracle Network proclamation.
I'll second the motion. Any comment or question? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. We have